You take 20,000 breaths per day. That's over 7 million a year, but you're probably breathing wrong. If even half of those breaths are incorrect, you are keeping your body stuck in a stress state. That wired but tired feeling, the brain fog, the restless sleep, it all comes back to your shitty breathing habits. So today, I want to show you how you can rewire your breathing. So instead of stressing your body out, you can eliminate stress on autopilot. Now, before we get started, I want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Trevor, and I help scaling entrepreneurs turn health into their unfair advantage without becoming a full-time biohacker so they can perform better, feel better, and ultimately scale their business faster. Okay, so let's dive right in. Why is shallow breathing keeping you stressed? Well, shallow, rapid breathing is a hidden stress loop. It signals to your brain that something is wrong. Your sympathetic nervous system fires up, that fight or flight state. Your stress hormones rise, and this keeps your body stuck in a stress state. And the reason for this is because shallow, rapid breathing reduces oxygen uptake. So when you are breathing more frequently, then you have less CO2 in your body. And CO2 is crucial for your body to actually utilize the oxygen that it takes in. And another reason is your shallow breathing. When you breathe in a shallow manner, you're not activating your diaphragm. So your body is not getting in enough oxygen with every breath. And what this does is it leads to a very inefficient breathing pattern. And this quietly drains your energy, where for every breath you take, you have to put way more effort and energy for the actual oxygen you get back. And that is what's keeping your body stuck in a stress state. Okay, so how do we actually breathe properly? And first, you need to be breathing through your nose. Nasal breathing is king. You were never meant to consistently breathe through your mouth. And almost every mammal breathes through their nose, and it's for good reason. Nasal breathing filters and warms the air. Nasal breathing prepares the air for the lungs, and this can increase oxygen uptake by up to 20%. And it also filters out any pollutants or allergies that might be in the air. What nasal breathing also does is it allows for deeper, slower breaths. It allows you to more easily activate your diaphragm, and it also allows for slower breaths because you're not taking in as much air. It's harder to take in big volumes of air breathing through your nose versus breathing through your mouth, like first. And what this does is it reduces the amount of CO2 you have, and that's what's going to lead to faster breathing. Now, what it also does is it improves oxygen uptake. Nasal breathing produces nitric oxide, and nitric oxide helps expand your blood vessels, which enables your body to better uptake oxygen. Now, it also activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Because you're breathing through your nose, you're going to take deeper, less frequent breaths, and this is going to relax your body. But if your nose is plugged, this can really seem impossible. And there's a couple things we can do to clear out our nose. We can use something like a neti pot where you put water through your nose on one end, it clears the mucus out, and that can be a really helpful fix. You can also use steam from a sauna or hot shower. You can use a natural nose spray. And what you can also do is use a nose strips to help you breathe better. If you take two fingers and go like this, and can breathe much better, that means that using some sort of nose tape would actually be beneficial for you. You can also use this exercise in order to clear out your nose. So you take one finger, put it on one nostril, you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, then switch, exhale for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, inhale for 3 seconds, you switch, hold for 3 seconds, exhale for 3 seconds. Hold for 3 seconds. Inhale for 3 seconds. And you switch and repeat. Now, in order to breathe properly, you need to understand that CO2 is your friend. CO2, not a bad guy. In fact, it's crucial to breathe effectively. CO2 tells your brain when to breathe out. And when you have low CO2 levels, your body doesn't actually know when it should be breathing. And this causes your body to panic and eventually leads to your body taking shallow, more frequent breaths, leading to that stress signal. And what CO2 also does is it helps deliver oxygen and circulate blood around the body. CO2 also increases your stress resilience because to keep more CO2, you have to slow down your breathing. And that means fewer breaths and longer exhales. And what this does is it signals to your brain that it is safe. And when your brain believes the body is safe, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the nervous system that is crucial for us to recover and eliminate stress on autopilot. Now, the last component to breathing properly is to fix your breathing mechanics. Proper mechanics are going to amplify everything we've covered so far. And the first step to proper mechanics is diaphragmatic breathing. This lets you breathe deeper. It expands your lungs, allowing you to pull more oxygen into your body. To practice this, what you do is you put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. And what you want to do is you want to breathe in. And as you breathe in, your stomach should start to expand and your chest should not move. And then to breathe out, your stomach should relax and go back in, and your chest should not move again. And that is how you can practice diaphragmatic breathing. Next, we have proper tongue posture. And what proper tongue posture does is it reduces airway resistance. It makes it so the tongue doesn't get stuck and block our airways. And this makes it easier for you to take in more oxygen. And it also makes it easier for you to breathe through your nose. Now, the primary exercise to practice this is mewing, which you've probably heard of and think it's some, one of those looks maxing exercises, but it actually helps you develop your face more and help you breathe more easily. Now, there are a ton of mewing videos online, but the gist of it is you put your tongue on the front of your two teeth, not touching it, but just on the upper palate. And then what you do is you swallow back. And now you're mewing. And that can take some time to practice and get down, but that is going to make it so much easier, not only to just take in more oxygen and have less airway resistance, but also make it easier to breathe through your nose. Okay, so now you know how to breathe properly. What are some exercises to rewire your breathing? Now, there's two simple exercises to do this. And for both of them, you want to make sure you're using proper breathing mechanics. You're using your diaphragm to breathe, and the tongue is on the roof of your mouth. Again, this is going to amplify your results. And when you adopt these proper mechanics during these exercises, your body is going to adopt these good habits. Now, the first exercise is mouth taping, and mouth taping is going to force you to breathe through your nose. Now, if you can't breathe through your nose, do not do mouth taping. You want to make sure that you can actually breathe through your nose before you even try mouth taping. Now, with mouth taping, you want to start small and progressively overload over time. So you start with 30 or 60 minutes during the day while you're doing work. Then you bump that up to a couple of hours, then maybe the whole work day. And then at one point, what you want to do is you want to do nose breathing while you are doing exercise or going on a light walk. And then eventually what you want to do is you want to start nose breathing while you sleep. And that is where you wear mouth tape during your sleep. And if you keep progressively overloading over time and stacking on the nose breathing sessions, then you are going to get to the point where breathing through your nose is the default. Now, the next exercise is a 5-minute daily breathwork practice, and it's there to build up your CO2 tolerance and also strengthen your breathing patterns. And what you want to do with this exercise is also start small and progressively overload. So first, we start with 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And what you want to do every day is you want to increase the amount you're exhaling. So the next day you would do 5 seconds in, 6 seconds out. The next day, 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. And you do that all the way up till you're doing 5 seconds in and 15 seconds out. After that, you want to switch to another exercise. You want to do box breathing. So what you do is you do 5 seconds in, and then you do a 5-second pause. Then you do 5 seconds out. And then you do a 5-second pause and then repeat. You do 5 seconds in and repeat that whole process. Now, for this, you also want to progressively overload. So the next day, what you would do is just add a second to the pauses. So then it would be 5 seconds in, 6-second pause, 5 seconds out, 6-second pause. And then you keep adding till you reach 5 seconds in and 10 seconds out. And after that point, you can do that seated. You're doing 5 seconds in, 10-second pause, 5 seconds out, 10-second pause. Then you want to start doing this while walking and you reset. So you reset back to 5 seconds in, 5-second pause, 5 seconds out, 5-second pause. And then you build your way up back to that 5-10 framework. And that can be really challenging, but it's a great way to build your CO2 tolerance and also strengthen your breathing patterns. Now, you want to do both of these consistently, and you're going to start shifting your breathing and reduce stress on autopilot. Okay, there you have it. This is how you fix your shitty breathing habits and start to eliminate stress on autopilot. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. And if you like more personalized support with your health, then check the first link in the description to learn more about working with me in a one-to-one format. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.